All right, Chris Harris Jr. joins us on the BetQL Guests Hotline. He's a former Broncos cornerback, co-host of Let's Ride on the Believe Network. What's going on, Chris?
I was doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
By the way, Chris Harris Jr. is a fan of Journey.
He is? You're just guessing that?
I'm just guessing. Are you a fan of Journey, Chris Harris?
Fan of Journey?
Journey,
Yeah, I'm a fan of Journey.
The rock band, yeah, Journey.
Yes, Journey the Rock Band.
Yeah.
That y'all was just playing, right?
Yeah. You like that song.
Oh, it's a timeless classic.
It's one of the greatest all time. That's a great walk-up for you, Chris.
Is Chris Harris Jr. When's the last time Chris Harris Jr. wore his Super Bowl ring?
I just wore it at the Hall of Fame for DeMarcus Williams. So I just wore it.
Okay.
I think it was probably about a month ago.
I'm going to guess like when he does events, it's like an event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my guess.
When you're not wearing it, where do you put it? You have a safe?
Oh, they gave us a box, and it's like a gold box, and that's where you can put it in. It's like a safe for your Super Bowl
right.
Box, and it's pretty cool. It's like a pure gold box.
What has he got, a car full of kids?
He's got a lot of kids, I think, in there.
Is that right?
Are you taking them to school?
I'm dropping them off right now, so I'm good now. I'm good now.
All right, so Chris he's like the ultimate underdog story. He was undrafted in 2011 for people that don't know. Oh, can you tell people what your signing bonus was with the Denver Broncos for your first contract?
Yes. My first signing bonus with Denver Broncos was $2,000.
Nice.
My daughter got more this summer.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the last one picked up on the roster that year after the lockout, and it was just a crazy year that whole time because you didn't know nobody knew what was going on because everybody was pretty much shut down because of the NFL that year.
So you went from that to actually make the Pro Bowl 4 times and win a Super Bowl.
Let me ask you this, Chris. What was your biggest one-year salary?
Getting in your pockets.
Shocker.
Oh, man. I know it was 10 plus. I know that.
Look at that.
Can't remember.
Oh my gosh.
He can't remember. So good, he can't
You got
remember.
so much money in your savings account.
He signed a 5-year, $42 million deal. All right, let's get to the current Denver Broncos, the team that you follow. First of all, do you like Sean Payton and kind of what he's done in the offseason for this team?
Oh, man, I think he's been great so far. Much improvement from – even though I still put the last week's loss on Sean Payton, he's definitely – you can see the improvement from the team, the confidence. And Russell, that's the main thing. You want to see improvement from your quarterback. So hopefully they can be able to continue to buy into his program and have great success.
What do you put on last week's loss on Sean Payton? Explain, because we didn't get to watch every down. What exactly did Sean Payton do or not do that cost the team the win?
The Broncos came out with a onside kick, a surprise onside kick, and that failed. And then from there, you'd have to put that on the coaches because they were able to score 3 points off that.
Okay.
Right.
Difference in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the difference in the game, And then you cut a veteran, which I don't know if I can put this on Payton. I know Will Lutz is his guy. So they brought in Will Lutz. They traded for him, and I think he missed 2 or 3 field goals.
Wow.
So those key choices right there definitely hurt us.
Well, we were talking about this game. Sam Howell was sacked 6 times last week, and it wasn't all on the offensive line. He held the ball too long because of his season experience, and he had his blinders on a couple times. But the defense for the Broncos didn't get after Jimmy G. They didn't sack him. Now Jimmy G's a veteran; he gets rid of the ball quick. All right, so that's one thing he does. What does Sam Howell have to worry about from a defensive standpoint for the Broncos on that front seven?
The interior has been our strongest guys right now with new Zach Allen, Jonathan Harris. Those guys up front have been playing solid. The edge rushers are the guys that didn't show up like you said. I don't think they hit the quarterback 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get Brandon Gregory. They need some pass rush, some protection out of him since they paid him. And they haven't really got anything back from him. So I would say Randy Gregory, Frank Clark need to show up. And if I'm Sam Howell, you know, he has time to be able to hold the ball a little bit longer this game.
I like
Just
to
to
hear
be
that.
fair to the kicker, Will Lutz, he did miss one field goal, which was over 50 yards, but he did miss an extra point.
Extra point?
He
Yes,
missed an extra
there it is.
point,
There you go. All right.
and they lost to 1
3
point.
yards in the mile high.
Yeah.
That's like 40 yards in a normal stadium.
That's true too. That's another good point.
Yeah, how much do you think, from an outsider perspective, from a Washington Commanders perspective, coming in, playing at that altitude, how big of an impact is that? I mean, you played multiple years there in Denver. I know that the Commanders are taking steps to try to combat that playing at over 5,000 feet. How is that going to affect the Commanders on Sunday?
Man, the secret is, especially away team, you need to come down. I would travel on Friday, right? Especially when you come to Denver, because it takes probably a day for your body to get adjusted to that altitude, right? So being able to come in a little day before, get that little adjustment.
Do you have to run?
Once you get to the mile high.
Do you have to run that day that you're there, or just have to be there?
No, it's just getting your body acclimated to this, the change of weather, the change of, when you go to Denver, it's a total change,
Mm-hmm.
I come back to Texas, and I have to deal with allergies. I go to Denver, I don't have to deal with any allergies. It's just a change of, scenery when you go there. And then also that altitude, right, it's going to hit you regardless, but I think if you go there a day before, you kind of get used to it, you kind of understand what it is. Some do make you do a little light warm-up. Like we did that when I was with the Chargers. We came in a day before, did a little light workout, things like that.
I would think
and I
so.
think that does help. So
Where do you live? Where do you live full time? Where do you live full time now?
I'm in Dallas now.
Oh, you're in Dallas.
North Dallas.
All right. So what are you hearing about Judy? Because offensively, without Judy, no one really scares you. I know Sutton caught a touchdown last week. Javonte, I think, is good, but he's kind of easing his way back in. What are you hearing about Judy and his status?
Yeah. I'm hearing Judy should be good to go this week. You can never count on somebody come off a hamstring. You never know, because those things can easily always pop back up. But I think Judy is definitely the number one receiver for them. Cortland, they missed a lot of opportunities with him last week that they might try to go back, some deep shots, some double move shots. He's the guy that's going to go vertical. But the guy that keeps the chains moving is Judy. So I think Fuller plays the slot for you guys. That'll be a good matchup, for a veteran guy versus, a younger up-and-coming receiver that's ready to have a splash this year.
I was wondering, what is your perspective as a veteran, a guy who, undrafted free agent, first signing bonus was $2,000. And we got a guy like Chase Young here who was the number 2 pick in the draft, whatever the hell he was. And, we thought he was going to be the next thing. Surefire Hall of Famer. He had a good rookie year, but only 7.5 sacks. But you know what? Defensive rookie of the year, fine. Then kind of didn't do much at all that second year. Then late in the year towards ACL. Last year, just kind of a wash, played the last 3 games, hurt again. Like, is there a chance he could still be the man, or is this kind of who he is?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's still young, and, he dealt with some injuries. He really missed a lot of games, So even though he's a rookie, or in that rookie contract, he's missed more. Am I right on that?
Yes. Pretty close to that,
He missed a lot of games, so he's still a young player. He still has a lot to prove and really to go out there and showcase himself and more experience to gain. So I wouldn't give up on him yet. Usually when you have freak athletes like him, they give him 6 years, right?
Is that right?
So, yeah, when you got guys like him, freakish players like that, like Clowney, they'll give Clowney, 10 years. I don't even know what year he's in, but
right.
He hasn't had 10 sack seasons.
Nope.
Right.
It's a good point.
They stick with them.
Yep.
They stick with them all throughout, his career. He's gotten a chance. So, Myles Garrett, they'll give him 6 years. Just be patient, and he has all the talent and the physicalities to be able to be that type of player. So hopefully he can get it sooner than later.
Talking to Chris Harris Jr., former Broncos cornerback, he co-hosts Let's Ride on the Believe Network. I actually wanted to kind of go back to your career. So You break in, and your rookie season, I believe Tim Tebow was your quarterback. And then in year 2, boom, you bring in Peyton Manning. You work for the Believe Network. What was the difference in belief going from Tim Tebow 2011, not to take a shot at him, you guys won a bunch of games with Tebow, to then going to Peyton?
Man, with Tebow, man, we believed that we could win every game, man, until we had to see Tom Brady.
Right.
But Tebow, man, he just knew how to finish some games, man. We had some crazy, heroic, performances and being able to finish those games. And of course, we played great defense with Tebow, and we had DT, he was making great plays. So we still had a lot of talent around Tebow. So we knew that we were a good team, that we really just needed that one piece. And being able to pick up Peyton that next year was huge. I think we had started out slow too, man. I think we started out, with a pretty bad record, and then we just was able to flip it and turn it around. But man, playing with Peyton, he just brought full confidence to the whole organization, the city. That we were going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl, play for NFC Championship. So Tebow we was able to get to the playoffs with Tebow. That was kind of like the first step. But playing with Peyton, man, took it up to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton's first year, you guys go 13-3, unbelievable offensive year. Sets the record with touchdown passes. This is kind of a long time argument on this show about Peyton in particular. One of the guys always harped that Peyton threw flutter balls, okay, that he threw wobblers all the time. You went up against him in practice, and I'm not going to talk about his last year where you guys won a Super Bowl and maybe he was diminished, but like those first couple of years when he's in Denver, you're going up against him in practice, going up against really good receivers. Did the wobblers affect his game?
Oh, no, because he has so much patience and accuracy and timing, right? That when the ball's coming out, when the receiver's coming out of his break, he expects you to be 15 yards down the field at that spot. And it's going to hit you in the chest, right? Peyton Manning threw the most catchable balls.
But why wouldn't it spin? How come he couldn't spin it like these other guys?
Man, I'm pretty sure he did when he was a little younger. But a lot of these guys throw so hard, they're inaccurate, and their balls are hard to catch. Right? So you see a lot of drops. With Peyton, man, I promise you, man, it just goes right in your hands so easy. Hit you right in the chest, easy. So just going against a lot of guys around the league and just facing Peyton, he just threw the most catchable ball to me.
All right, so what do you see in Russell Wilson? Earlier you said that you think that Sean Payton has helped Russell Wilson. I think in week 1, his QBR was 5th in the league, but it seemed like it was a very short passing attack.
Yeah, we came out with a lot of bootlegs. We definitely tried to take some shots. The Raiders was in cover 2, sitting back in a lot of zones when we had those calls. So that's what, Russ he likes to take some deep shots. He didn't get to do it a lot last game. So be looking for that to happen this week, Like you said, a lot of immediate throws, a lot of quick throws. Not a lot of big chunk plays. So that's something that they'll try to get to back this weekend.
You might be a little biased here, but who do you think wins, Denver or Washington?
I'm going to have to go with Denver. I think with Judy coming back, playing this Sam Howell, going against the Broncos defense, I think the Broncos defense hopefully can be able to wake up and force some turnovers. And I like Surtain versus McLaurin. So I'm going to have to go. I want to see that matchup, but I think hopefully Denver can pull it off.
All right, one last question. Who do you have more confidence in winning the game outright this week? Giants in Arizona or Buffalo at home against the Raiders?
I'm going to go Buffalo.
Okay.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I think they got the chance to win. They got to bounce back. They got to be embarrassed after their loss, to start the season like that. So I expect the Bills to come back hard this weekend.
All right, Chris.
Good
Pleasure
stuff,
talking to you. It's Chris Harris Jr. Used to play corner for the Broncos amongst other teams.
All right,
He's got the show Let's Ride on the Believe Network.